To demonstrate the autocomplete and snippets that are built into the Corona SDK TextMate bundle, I'm going to create a simple Hello World application in Corona. And so what I have open in front of me is a main.lua file that I've created in TextMate. And the first thing that I need to do is actually create the display object that is going to be the text that we're going to see on our screen. So I'm going to create that using the display.newText function, which is built into the SDK. And I can use the autocomplete features inside of TextMate in conjunction with the TextMate bundle to scroll through or cycle through the different possible keywords that will automatically complete what I've started typing. If you're familiar with TextMate, you know that the autocomplete functionality is accessible by hitting your escape key on the keyboard. So once I start typing the keyword that I want to autocomplete, I can hit escape and start seeing the different possibilities that will match what I've typed. So the first result that I get after hitting escape is actually new text. As you can see, the autocomplete is accessible as soon as you type as little as one letter. Obviously, if you type more letters before you start doing autocomplete, it can refine your results. So in this case, I'm getting the result that I want right away, but let's say I wanted to use a different built-in function to display an image on the stage or create a vector shape or something like that. If the first result isn't the one that I want, I can keep hitting escape to see the different values that are built into the bundle. And so if I hit escape again, I can see new circle and rectangle, rounded rectangle, new image if I want to create a display object using a ping file. But since I want to create new text, I can just keep hitting escape until I get back to new text. And in this case, I'm back at new text. And once I have the keyword that I am looking for, I can now use the built-in snippets in the bundle to fill in the rest of this function, which will basically, what that'll do is give me the different arguments that I need to provide to this function in order to create this text. And I can access the bundles by hitting access the snippets rather, sorry, by hitting the tab key after I have my keyword in place. So if I hit tab, then TextMate will look at the snippet and see what needs to be provided at this point. So in this case, it's giving me the 5 different arguments for the new text function. And it's automatically highlighted the first argument that I need to provide. So what I've done inside the bundle is provide some simple kind of placeholder names that describe what each of those arguments is responsible for. So in this case, the first argument is the actual string of characters that I want to show up in my text field. So I'm just going to type hello world. And I can see that the next argument that I need to provide is the exposition for this text. And the way snippets in TextMate work is, at this point, I can just hit the tab key and TextMate will automatically move me over to the next argument that I need to provide, and it'll automatically highlight the placeholder for that argument. So I can just hit the tab key and start typing whatever I need to set this value to. So let's say I'm going to set it to an x value of 40. I can hit tab again to move over to the y value, and I'll set that to a y value of 60. Can tab over again to change the font if I don't want to use the default font. I can set this to whatever I want it to be. And in this case, I'm just going to use the default font, so I'm going to pass a value of nil for that argument. And I'm going to set the font size to 36 points. So the next thing I need to do for this text is actually set the color so that it will show up on the screen. And I can do that using the set text color function that's again built into the SDK. So I'm going to start typing the keyword that I need to use, and I can hit escape, and in this case set text color is the first match. It's the one that I'm looking for. So once I have that filled in, at this point again I can hit the tab key now that I have my keyword in place, and I can see the arguments that I need to provide to this function. One thing that's missing from set text color right now is the optional alpha value, which is the optional 4th argument. So by the time you've downloaded the bundle, we'll probably have added that, so you'll actually see one extra placeholder argument in place. Obviously, if for an optional argument, if you don't want to use it, you can just delete what's there and everything is fine. So let's say I want to make this text red. So I'm going to set the R value to 255, and I'm going to tab over to the green value and set it to 0, and set the blue value to 0 as well. So now I have the code that I need to create my hello world text. So I'm going to save my file, and what I'd like to do is test this in the simulator to see if it's looking the way I want it to look. From within TextMate using the bundle, what I can do is just hit Command R, and that will automatically launch the Corona simulator, and it will run this main.lua file. So I'm just going to move the simulator window onto the area where I'm recording so that you can see that the text is actually showing up as it should. So I can there see my hello world text in big beautiful 36-point red, and so this is obviously working the way I want it to work. Once it's all done, I can quit it out of the simulator, and I can go back to TextMate. And right now what's happening is it's showing me a little tooltip with any of the outputs that would go to the terminal from running this application. So if you're working on an application and you have some print statements for debugging, you'll actually see the result of those print statements inside of this tooltip. I'm not sure that the tooltip is the best way to show this, so if you have ideas for how that might be improved, maybe by showing it in a new text file or something else, I'd be happy to hear suggestions. Of course, if you have any other feedback on any other aspect of the bundle, if there are keywords that aren't in autocomplete right now, or functions that I haven't yet added as snippets, please let me know. I'm adding things as I go along, but any feedback is great. I'm hoping that you'll get a lot of good use out of it, but obviously if it's not doesn't have the things that you need for it to be useful, I'd like to hear what I could do to improve it. So I hope that this has helped you in figuring out how to work with the bundle, and I hope that it makes your coding in Corona quicker and easier and more fun than it already is. Thanks.